guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melly, and today we're actually going to be going over my July TBR. So I'm so excited to share this with you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. The first book that is on my July TBR to finish is If Cats Disappeared from the World. This is by Junki Kawamura, and this is basically about this man found out that he has like stage 4 cancer. He's trying to figure out like what his last days should kind of be revolved around, and then suddenly the devil turns up and appears, and he is trying to strike a deal with this man and let him know, like, if you disappear one thing each day, I'll give you an extra day to live. So he's going back and forth on whether he should take this proposition or not. Each chapter after that is really named off of what he is going to disappear from the world, and within that chapter it gives you kind of a little peek at life without that specific thing. So it gets pretty interesting, and it's called If Cats Disappeared from the World. I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I'm assuming one of his last is his own cat. But yeah, that is where I'm at. It's really good. I'm on page 52. I'm about, I would say, like 35 to 40% of the way done, but it's a very interesting read. On here, the devil isn't shown as like this monstrous creature. He appears as yourself, like your doppelganger, and in the opposite clothing. So the guy describes it as he normally just wears like plain like t-shirts, and like he's wearing black khaki, I believe that's what he said. And this devil that appears to him as his doppelganger, except he's wearing like Hawaiian t-shirts and something like crazy that he would never wear. So, and it's so funny because the devil is able to read your mind in the book, and so he's literally listening to everything this man is saying, and I think it's pretty funny. This book is pretty good. I thought it would be better by now, but it's not bad. It's not bad. He is getting reconnected with one of his love interests from the past, so that's pretty cool to read. I'm not trying to give any spoilers, but yeah, that is where I am in this book. The second book that I picked up is The Unmaking of June Farrow. It's by Adrienne Young. This is what it looks like. And this is basically based in Jasper, North Carolina, I believe. Yes. And it follows a girl named June Farrow. She had just lost her grandmother. Her entire family lineage is literally cursed by fate. There's just signs that occur whenever this starts happening. June didn't think that it would happen to her, and it is now happening to her. Slowly but surely it is. And it's like just mysterious figures and stuff like that. Like, she doesn't know what's going on, and she's trying to figure out how to make it stop and how it can end with her versus keeping the lineage going and it getting passed on. I just started reading it, so I'm on page 27. I'm on chapter 3. So I haven't read too much. It's just giving me like the basis of where she's at, and it's giving me details of what she does and how much her grandmother meant to her, and how her grandmother's best friend is currently living with her. And then it kind of, I don't know if it's going to be her love interest in this book, but they talk about her best friend. So, I mean, that's really all that I've read in this book. It says it's been a year since June started seeing and hearing things that aren't there. Faint wind chimes, a voice calling her name, and a mysterious door appearing out of nowhere. Signs of what June has always known is coming, but June is determined to end the curse once and for all, even if she must sacrifice the hope of love and a family of her own. I just thought that this sounded really good, so I went ahead and added it to my TBR for this month. The next book that I am reading, actually with my Patreon members, is this book right here, and it is called One Perfect Couple. It's by Ruth Ware. So this really follows, I'm barely on chapter, is it chapter 2? Yeah, I'm on chapter 2. I'm barely on page 17. But this book follows a couple. So the couple is Lila and Nico. So Lila and Nico have been together for a while. Nico has a career, or is trying to start a career in the entertainment business, I guess you would say, like in movies and things like that, reality TV shows. So he is very much that type of person. He's like conventionally pretty. And then Lila is more of like a scientist, and she's trying to figure some stuff out. She's working under Professor, I think it's Bianchi at a university, trying to figure some stuff out. So she is really, per her words, she's not conventionally pretty. She's just average, and she doesn't understand how she landed Nico. But Nico is now coming to her and asking her to be on a reality TV show where it's kind kind of like Survivor, but it's kind of like Love Island. So they're competing for a grand prize and it has to be in a couple. So Nico's like begging Lila to go, and Lila isn't sure because, you know, they always cast the pretty couples and she's not conventionally pretty, so she doesn't think that they're going to get in. That is she's like trying to do reverse psychology, so that's the reason why she went ahead and said, sure, we'll go on audition, and if they say no, well, they say no. That's where I am in the story. Like I said, I'm only on page 17. I will be bringing this book to Washington though to read a couple more chapters in this book. That's where I am. Like I said, this is the Patreon book that we chose, and I'm excited to continue reading to see what's going on. It will captivate me. It's just right now it's starting off really slow, but I know as soon as they start their little competition, I'm gonna be all in this book. The next book that I want to talk about is called Savor It. This book is by Tara DeWitt. It says summer won't last forever. So this follows a girl named Sage, and she's back in her hometown of Spoons, Oregon. So I think this is called the Spoon series. It has another book to this. She has an ex who also lives there, and it's a very small town, and he is actually engaged to be married. I believe he comes back into Spoons, Oregon, so he is able to have his wedding there. And like I said, everything is so small to where her best friend is having to make the wedding cake for her best friend's ex, for Sage's ex-boyfriend. So it's kind of just awkward. He's also the mayor's son, so it's like everything is intertwined, and Sage wants to enter this competition that they have every single year, but Sage wants to win. It's always her ex who wins, and she just feels like she needs this win. I believe she said something about like they always hang like these big old pictures, like kind of like the Hall of Fame for this competition, and every year you see it's a picture of him. So she wants to be up there, so every time he passes by it, he knows that she won. So she's like wanting to do that, but she has to find a partner to win this competition. And so that's when Fisher Lang enters the book, which I haven't gotten to, but on the back it says he's a hotshot chef in New York City until the loss of his sister left him grieving and responsible for his teenage niece. After Fisher loses his Michelin star along with his love of cooking, his boss sends him to Spoons for a last chance project to redeem himself. But as his reluctance to get comfortable in a small town causes clashes with the locals and a kiss with his sunny new neighbor Sage leads to dating rumors, the pair strike a deal to turn things around. Soon their alliance blooms into something unexpected, and while they try to savor every moment, summer is racing by all too quickly. So this all happens in one summer. I'm excited to continue reading it. I think I'm only on chapter 2, so chapter 1 was a little long, and I was reading this at like 3 in the morning, so I could not go on to chapter 2, but it started off pretty good and giving you the basis of what's going on and what the town looks like. So far I am liking it. I'll let you guys know, but yeah, that is in my read. We have 3 more books, and all of these are hardcovers, and I think these are the ones that I'm literally most excited to read or to finish reading. So let's go ahead and get into these. The first one is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I think everybody and their mom has read this book except me, so I'm excited to get on this train. You can see that it does have the sprayed edges, and I think it's so beautiful. And then it continues on to the back, and I think the front as well. Yeah, so pretty. This book, honestly, I don't even know what it's about. It's supposed to be fun, light, and airy. That's all I know. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of a backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book and no one will fall in love. Really. But yeah, that is the premise of this book. I'm excited to read it. I have not started on this book. This is the one book that I have not started on. I'm excited, and I love the cover. Very cute. We're not taking that one to Seattle though. The next one I am taking to Seattle is Friends. This is by Frederick Bachman. I cannot tell you how many times I've told people that you literally need to purchase this book. You need to buy this book. If you love books, I'm telling you, I haven't even finished this book. I am nowhere near done with this book, and I recommend it already. And I remember when I was at Barnes and Nobles and the cashier was telling me that Frederick Bachman had just made a new book, had released one, and it was My Friends. And I went to go look at it and I read the little insert and I was like, I don't want to read that book. That book sounds boring. Literally, I'm not buying that, and I didn't buy it. Biggest mistake of my life. And I'm so happy that I was convinced by BookTube to pick up this book, first of all. To pick it up and read it is a second thing. I don't understand how you could not like this book if you read this book. It is so good. It has kept me captivated every single time I pick this book up. Now, I'm not that far deep into it, but I've already tabbed some really good quotes in this book. I don't even know if you can tell, but I have. And let me just read one of these to you and maybe you'll understand why I love this book so much. Also, I'm on page 97. I'm on chapter 14 of this book, and I'm also reading this with my book club at work. So it's so good. I literally am so excited to pick this book up. I cry every single time, and that's why I need other books to like bring me back. But let's read a couple quotes and maybe you guys will understand. Okay, let's see. It's gonna be funny if it's not that good of a quote. It says, we're a bunch of lonely apes on a rock in the universe. Our breath consists of 80% nitrogen, 20% oxygen, and 100% anxiety. The only thing we can take for granted is that everyone we have ever met and everyone we have ever known and everyone we have ever loved will die. So how great must our imaginations be for us to even summon up the enthusiasm to get out of bed each morning? Endless. Imagination is the only thing that stops us from thinking about death every second. And when we aren't thinking, oh, those are all our very best moments when we're wasting our lives. It's an act of magnificent rebellion to do meaningless things, to waste time to swim and drink soda and sleep late, to be silly and frivolous, to laugh at stupid little jokes and tell stupid little stories, or to paint big paintings, the biggest you can imagine, and to try to learn to whisper in color, to look for a way to show other people this was me, these were my humans, these were our farts. I literally, every time I pick this book up, I want to cry. And if you knew the premise, like, you need to pick this book up, I'm serious. If you knew the premise of that quote, you would be crying too. Let me read one more. I think this is the very first one that I tabbed. It is. And ever since then, I've been hooked. So I want to share that one quote with you that just had me hooked since the moment. And this is on page 7. Like, it was at the very start of this book. This says, adults always think that they can protect children by stopping them from going to dangerous places. But every teenager knows that's pointless because the most dangerous place on earth is inside us. Fragile hearts break in palaces and in dark alleys alike. This book is so good. It's funny. He has such a good way of storytelling. I didn't even know this was a translated book until my friend told me. He's not even American. Like, I don't know why I thought this man was like writing to us, but he has a translator who translates all his books. So I literally cannot even imagine how amazing this book must be in his own language. Love this book, literally. And I'm not even done. I'm not even halfway done, and I love this book. This is how far I am into the book. But yeah, okay. Let's move on to the last book that I have in my July TBR. I hope you guys are excited to know what the last one is. It is called The Compound. This is by, I'm assuming, I think you say her name, Aisling Rowell. But that is what it looks like. Look how beautiful that cover is. So pretty. I think I was getting FOMO whenever people were watching Love Island and I wasn't watching Love Island. And then I heard about Huda and I'm like, okay, I have a Peacock account. Let me just go on there, see what they're talking about. I was instantly drawn. Like, I could not stop watching every single day, and it just finished. And towards the end, I was like, what am I going to do in life after Love Island finishes? Like, what do people do for the next 8 months until the next season comes up, right? read. So the compound is literally Love Island. You have to stay in a couple. It follows one of the girls, and her name is Lily. In this competition, there's a lot of different things than there is in Love Island, honestly. So you have to do certain things to get certain prizes. It could be to compliment someone. It could be to kiss someone on the cheek. As little as that, as big as you have to go and skinny dip. But you can't talk about your challenges to anybody that's in there. And then every day you have to sleep in a bed with your partner. If you don't have a partner sleeping next to you, you will get kicked off. It is a lot of that. It's a lot of mystery because things start going crazy. What will they do for their next move, you know? A lot of the prizes deal with making the house better. So you start off with like no couch. So they make you, you know, they give you a question or they tell you to do something, and then bam, appears a couch. It'll tell you the prize. It'll tell you what you must do. They also have individual tasks, and then they also have group tasks. So it's two different tasks. The individual task, you get like a comb, sunblock. I mean, just things like that you need because you start off with nothing. Even like all the clothes that you start off with is like from past users. So it's not even brand new clothes, but you slowly start winning better things as the game progresses. So I'm really excited to find out what else is going to happen. I am on page 75 of this book. So I would say about 25% done or so. It is really, really good. And I'm excited to just see who is going to win, what's going to happen, because something does happen. The last sentence in the little blurb, it says, if Lily makes it to the end, she'll receive prizes beyond her wildest dreams. But what will she have to do to win? I've been thinking about this book every single night. If I don't pick it up and read just a couple pages, I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on? What's happening, you know? So definitely pick this book up. It's really good. Now, I don't know if it's as good as My Friends just yet, but it's a really good book. It's a good book. That is going to wrap up this video, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and let me know what you're reading this month. I would love to know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in next week's video, which will be from Seattle, Washington, because I will be there when you watch this video. I will still be there. So I'm excited to share with you guys around the little shops, the bookshops that I went to. Just a little spoiler, we're going to like a little cat cafe, which I've never been, and I love cats. So I am so excited to drink some coffee, and I'm not much of a coffee drinker, but I will drink some coffee with some little kitties and read a book. So I am bringing this book, and I'm bringing My Friends, and I think the third book that I will be bringing is One Perfect Couple. I may buy this on my Kindle because I am bringing my Kindle, so I think I want to read this on Kindle. The Compound I'll probably buy on Kindle if it's available. And this is the only hard book cover that I want to bring because I've been tabbing so much. I want to continue tabbing this book. That is the end of this video. For now, I will say buy yourselves a copy of My Friends. I'm telling you, you won't regret it. You're going to be so hooked by page 7. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.